I think that Korea's politics is always relatively consistent. I mean, they're a little bit on the left, a little bit on the right, but they are first and foremost focused on Korea and its position between the US and China. And I don't expect that to change anytime soon. I think the election was, the people have wanted a change, but I don't expect that to see any change towards us. We know our position in the country. We know we have to also respect the fact that we are guests there and that we have a vibrant and exciting, dynamic tungsten sector in Korea.
And Louis, does it matter who is the president of South Korea when you've got literally no commercial production of tungsten in the United States since 2015? I mean, I think the U.S. really needs to find any partner or any mine out there that could actually work for the country. But my question is really, why is that? Why the U.S. hasn't been really paying attention? Is that what's happened?
No, I don't think you can really blame governments here. I think our industry has been very aware of this problem for more than 20 years. It just chose to always push it sort of down the road. And now, of course, everyone's looking to government to fix the problem. And it's not a problem that can be fixed very quickly. I think it's also worth pointing out that the human capital, the knowledge to extract this metal or any metals, has dissipated in the West. It's not been a sector that's been actively pursued. I think in Denver, they only produce 200 engineers a year, mining engineers a year. I think in China, they do that every week. So it's not just the projects, it's also the knowledge. And that's very much more of a concern, I think, to our sector.
And you're planning to re-domicile to the United States. What brought that on? Is it the geopolitical backdrop that perhaps led to that decision?
No, I think it was more in line with the fact that our customers, the bulk of them are in the U.S. We already currently ship around 85% of our material to the U.S. Obviously, we've recently received a public letter that was sent to us by the House of Representatives from the Congress requesting us to support the national security. And I think it's very important. We've decided as a company that our focus for supply is going to be for defense work, both in South Korea, in the EU, and the United States, first and foremost. And the reason basically is because whatever happens here with China, with the export bans, the sensitivity of this metal for defense is still going to remain front and center. So we felt that being based in the US, and despite my accent, I'm actually an American, it made a lot of sense.
Given your company's critical role in strengthening the U.S. mineral supply chain, was there any communication with the government regarding perhaps your future direction of the company? And given the fact that you are re-domiciling to the United States, perhaps that there was some kind of interest in further aligning your vision with that of the U.S. government?
Well, we made the decision independently. We made it in the previous administration that we were going to re-domicile. And that was because it was, in fact, the Biden administration that sort of began the whole focus on tungsten. They put tariffs on a tungsten sector that didn't actually exist in the U.S. And so this was what started the snowball. And I think our view as a company was that I'm making, as the CEO, and I'm one of the largest shareholders, to direct ourselves towards defense was important. So we've now engaged with the U.S. government, in many different divisions, but I think there is still a work in progress for how to ensure that our material ends up exactly where we want to put it. We've always been able to choose our customers, but now we are choosing the sector that our material is going to be used in.
Louis, I've been given to understand that the issue of a floor price for tungsten is controversial. Talk us through that. Explain what it is, why it's important, and how you feel about a floor price.
Well, floor pricing, I mean, I'm not sure I'd use the word controversial. I think it's a pragmatic approach where price risk can be shared amongst us as basically the producer of concentrate and our customer, the downstreamer. And in the past, we've seen China running a very effective policy to protect market share by, in fact, bringing prices to levels where there's no inflows of capital. So the idea of a hard floor and no cap on the upside is to negate that technique or that mechanism. And I think for my customers, availability is more important than price. And so this hard floor, albeit it was a battle to get the first one, but now it's our sort of cost of doing business with us, and we've seen it embraced by everyone that we're dealing with.